Never miss another live stream again. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and click see all notifications. What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? I apologize. Just run a little bit tardy, just slightly tardy, just a little bit. But y'all know what it is, man. This is the Rockets pregame show, and welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. So that means we're talking all teams, all sports, but only Houston. With that being said, we're going to talk about the Rockets versus the Jazz, man. Game 1 of round 2 of the 2018 NBA playoffs, and we got a little Rockets roundtable in the mix. Who we got with us in the mix this evening, or actually this afternoon?
You got the laziest YouTuber out there, your boy Phoenix.
Got your boy Wise.
Boy, man, up right here in the mix. Trying to introduce all y'all Rockets fans out there.
Already good to have you fellas. So we're going to talk about a couple of things going on this evening. First and foremost, like I say, we got to make sure we represent, man. Sauce Sports is all about the sauce, and the sauce is the fresh ingredients, and y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients. So, you know how we start this thing off with the roll call. So that means shout out where you're from. If you're not from the city, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to your city, state, town, location, place, venue, however you identify, however you get down, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let us know how to show you a little bit of love. But if you are from the city, man, make sure you shout out your side with pride. If you don't know what the city is H-Town. We are talking about Houston, Texas, you know what I mean? But we got love for everybody. But, you know, it's first and foremost the city. I know y'all about to say, man, get the motherfucking bank on. That's all we care about. We just want to gamble sauce. We don't give a damn about what you talking about. We're here for the recreational chat activities. So there, the bank shit. Well, hold on, that ain't. I guess it's not. There we go. Now the bank should be open. All right. Let me get everything in order. Let's get into these 3 points to ponder, and we have a few interesting things to say. You know, going into this series, the Jazz just defeated the Thunder handily, if I say so myself. The Jazz have a solid defender in Gobert. They have an up-and-coming superstar, if I say so myself. I feel like the young man will be a superstar and spits the definition. I mean, I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell. But you know what I'm saying? But I think that he will be definitely a star, man. And my personal, if I had a vote, would be going to the Rookie of the Year. But as we can see, you know, they're giving it to the second-year rookie, however that works. Ben Simmons is probably going to get that accolade, and I really think that that's some messed up stuff. So I think there's some comparisons that we could look at this team and look at the Rockets again. They have a guy who's been playing well, getting slighted for an award he deserved. You know, we understand that feeling with James Harden, you know, how he should have been MVP multiple times, but this should definitely be the year. But you know, you never know with these people. The voters, they're so fickle. The voters, they're so, you know, picky. You know, they'll let LeBron have 3 good games in a row and claim that he's the MVP again. You know, but that is the way it is. You know, he's about to damn near get eliminated and shit. So as I'm getting this together, I apologize for that. It's tripping just a little bit. What do you guys feel is going to be an important factor to look at in this series?
Yeah, I'll go ahead because I want to
All right. To me, an important factor for this series is Ricky Rubio being out. I mean, they're going to have a new starting lineup for this series, which is huge because that's going to affect how they play. So let's say they move Mitchell to the point. They got to have a new shooting guard in there. We don't know how that's going to affect them.
Yeah, they're going to have Royce O'Neal is actually going to be starting. Yeah, starting for them tonight.
Who he guarding? He ain't guarding Chris Paul.
It doesn't really even matter either way because, I mean, it's not like Ricky Rubio was going to shut anything down. And it's not like, Ricky Rubio was allowed to be a factor against the Thunder. And, I mean, and people made a big deal about it because, Russell Westbrook is Mr. Triple-Double, and for someone to get a triple-double on him, I guess it's just some type of media blasphemy. It's just some type of they feel like it's impossible, like this motherfucker really plays defense anyway, but nobody wants to talk about that. But I definitely think that Ricky Rubio being out is very important because it changes up the chemistry of that lineup, and things are going to flow a little bit differently. The things that they're normally used to. I made this thing all super big. All right, as I'm getting the first point to ponder finally up, it's going to change the chemistry of the way that they play, and they're going to have to. It's going to take a little bit for them to get used to some of the changes in that situation. But the first point to ponder I want to bring up is down for some defense. It's saying that the offense may be at a premium in this series because you're talking about two teams that are actually very good, solid defensive teams. The Rockets. I forgot where they ended up in the year, but I want to say they were in the top 7 somewhere. And Utah, they were definitely playing quality defense all year long with Gobert definitely being a solid rim protector. And then he's solid off the pick and roll because that length that he has, man, it's hard to get around him. So he's definitely talented. It's going to be very interesting to see how Capela matches up with him this series. Does he play as well as he did against Karl Anthony Towns? So give me just a second. Some of y'all in the chat here now. I got the top chat on instead of the live chat. My fault. Let me show y'all a little bit of love because I promised. I told y'all to represent. I ain't even say where the fuck it was from. Already, I see who we got up in the motherfucking house. We have Coach Wise, Miss Voodoo, Zachariah, Darren. Darren, damn it. I don't want to talk about this. This is Rockets chat. We ain't talking about no Texans till later. Aaron Anderson, man up. Kellum Boys, Clutch Gaming. I gave you power. Ivory Patrick, Rashawn John, Houston B. Joe Batista, I don't know if I said you already. Kelvin Taylor, what's the motherfucking Oblitzkin? Nick Martinez, Paul Delgado, Jeremiah, what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi, how are you this afternoon? Devontae Love, what's the motherfucking deal? But yes, so defense, and we're gonna have to play excellent defense, and with that being the loss of them having Rubio missing, we get the great Muthaf back. So that brings our defense back up a notch that we were missing that, I think, a little bit in the last series when we let them have that game where they ran away with it in Minnesota. How do you guys feel about the return of Muthaf and the impact of that against the Rockets against the Jazz?
Well, personally, man, I think that's what it's going to take for the Rockets to win this because the Jazz is coming in with the #1 defense in the season. So I don't really know what the defense will do against the OKC, but I know it's #1 in the season, and we're coming in with the #1 offense in the season. So I think Luka Muthaf is going to be the hit factor for us. Now, with that being said as well, I also think that I don't want him to be rushed back too soon, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
His shoulder there, so that's one thing that I'm kind of worried about. Is you can be too soon, or you can be not. So we're gonna see what happens right there.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that's something you have to take into consideration. Is Muthaf being brought back too early? Is that liable to make him re-injure that shoulder? I mean, what could be the problem with that? But if he says he feels good and he's been through it before, then hopefully he is sure and that he knows that he's not coming back too early and he'll be ready to go.
And that also takes pressure off for DJ Tucker.
Yeah.
DJ Tucker don't have to guard the power forwards the whole game. You can throw Muthaf out there. You can throw Muthaf on Derek Favors. You can throw Muthaf on Joe Ingles. So
yeah.
With Joe Ingles and Derek Favors, they can hit threes and they can get work the post. So we need both of those guys to win the series.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, we can't sleep on them, dude. Derek Favors, I forgot about it. The thing is that Utah, offensively overall, of course, they're not going to be a major threat. But the fact is that if they can limit us like we were, I want to say, I can't remember exactly which game it was at the moment, but like we were against that one game against the Timberwolves, then that's a problem. But overall, I'm not that concerned. But what it is, though, what Gobert does is he gives them ability to. They're not afraid to guard the three because they feel like he's going to clean up everything underneath. And so they don't expect the Rockets to have those open looks or as much as they did because the Jazz, they're able to put pressure. Gobert allows them to have a lot of shine. But what I think is going to help is when he's on the bench, if the Rockets go small or have Anderson out there, hopefully he's playing well and hitting shots, but he allows you to stretch that out, and Gobert have to step out a little bit, maybe opening those lanes up some. But we'll definitely see. Like I say, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens because of the way that these teams play defense.
With Muthaf coming back, putting PJ Tucker back on the bench, that's not only going to help us defensively because there were some defensive struggles in this last series against the Timberwolves, but that's also going to help us with what we can do on offense, like stretching the floor, things like that. And I think it's going to make Clint Capela shine yet again in this series. Because if they're spread out guarding the three-point line, it's going to leave Capela versus Gobert, and I think Capela's going to eat on him.
Okay. All right. I definitely agree. And speaking of the young man, Clint Capela, I was actually extremely inspired by his performance in the last series. I mean, that's playoff Capela. We've yet to see Clint, play consistent like that. I mean, he turned it up a notch, and I was extremely impressed. I mean, it was just we got it's a switch situation, because I expect if we can play this way consistently throughout a regular season, you're talking about. I'm not trying to overdo it, and not foresee the future, but you're talking about a Hall of Fame type of talent. But I'm not putting him nowhere near that right now. He's getting better. He's getting consistent. He's solid. But the way he played, he had a 25 and 14 game that last game or something like that.
16.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Some crazy.
Yeah, and if you can play like that, then come on, man, you can seal the deal. You can find your place in history where you belong. But let's get into the point to ponder is the Capela come up. Capela demands some respect on his name, and we have to respect the fact that he is here, and it's not necessarily all about the offense. Sometimes it's the things that I talk about Tucker a lot. It's the things that he does that don't show up on the stat sheet that you have to attribute to him. Capela is the same way. His presence alone changes the way that teams play against the Rockets. And, he's going to get paid. I hope he sees the dollar signs in his eyes because Capela going to be eating real soon. Oh, yeah, I'm listening. James Harden said the same thing, yeah. Oh, man, I'm laughing at what you said, Jeremiah. But again, so how do y'all feel about Capela? How do y'all feel about Capela overall as far as, his performance in the playoffs this first round compared to how he performed in the regular season? Do you see him improving? Do you think it's maybe just the energy of the playoffs? Or do you see that, maybe he's capable of playing this way at a night in, night out basis?
What I think is that I think Capela is doing a lot of things that I've been preaching a lot. Yeah, he might get some points and stuff, but he's also, he's also doing other things to help win games. The block shots, the rebounds. What I'm saying? The tough defense on another play. You ain't gonna always block the shots, but making them work harder so they'll miss the shot. That's what I've always been preaching, and he's been doing that. So I think if he keeps that up, man, we solid. We're going to Chris Paul going to see his first conference finals if we keep that up.
Okay. All right. So, anybody else want to comment on the Capela situation?
I'm just saying he's going to keep developing. He's going to get better because, when we get to the Western Conference Finals, I know we're going to beat the Utah. I don't got no problem with Utah, but we're going to whoop their ass. Against the Warriors, who's going to guard Capela? I know Draymond. I know Looney. Capela has that impact to be like the Finals MVP. I guarantee that. That guy brings defense. He brings energy. He runs up and down the court. No center in the league can keep up with him. Every center you see trying to keep up with Capela dying, He'll get here and everything. So it's good that he's young and he's about to get paid $100 million. So he deserves it. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I mean, I think Capela, he's capable of playing how he did against the Timberwolves on a night in, night out basis. I think he's just starting to find his rhythm, and I think the playoffs are helping bring that out.
Yep.
Because like I want to use last year's playoffs as an example. Because before we started, I did pull up Capela's numbers. Last year, in 11 games, so the first two rounds, he had 24 total offensive rebounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has 22 already in 5 games.
Yeah.
So his impact has definitely been off the glass. So him getting those extra offensive boards, giving us those second chances, it's big because especially when we shoot the 3-pointer as much as we do, a lot of the times it's going to be a long rebound. So if we're driving inside and he's able to get the ball back for us, that's even more look.
Already. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get the little sauce raffle going for y'all. A little sauce splash. We're gonna make it, since there's been a lot of sauce getting splashed this week with just overinflation of the sauce. I'm gonna make it 500,000. Somebody gonna eat today. Everybody enable. But yeah, hit them likes, man. Hit that like button. Likes are free. The sauce costs, but the likes are free. But the third point of ponder I wanted to get into before we get ready to get those mark my words, and matter of fact, because I keep forgetting that I've been shortening the sauce to the 30 minutes and things. If y'all want to start dropping some of those mark my words while I drop this third point to ponder, let me go ahead and let me make it look fancy for you. While we drop this third point to ponder, get those down, and I'll make sure that I take note of those. You know how that goes, and we can make sure y'all get y'all sauce delivered after the game. I have to keep appropriate sauce records. So the third point to ponder, though, is, you guys, this series is extremely important, and I know a lot of people are superstitious. I know a lot of people feel that sports teams are guided by destiny. It's the hand of God that helps teams, and history repeats itself, and things of those courses. You have to look at something. All time in the playoffs, the Rockets versus the Jazz have had our number. We played 7 times. The Jazz have won 5. We have won 2. But those 2 wins, those 2 series wins, were 2 of the most crucial series wins that the Rockets have ever had, because those 2 series wins were en route to something very important. Something very important, and that very important thing were fucking championships. Do you understand? And so if we're trying to get to the championship again, I mean, it's only right that we do it again. I mean, if we're comparing ourselves to the historic Rockets, and we're looking at everything that they did compared to what we did, and I think this team has exceeded a lot of that stuff. I think we just have to go in there, and the Rockets have to take care of business. So the third point to ponder. And I want to give props. Like I said, I give props to the Jazz. Okay, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm just shitting on the Jazz. I actually don't like the Jazz, but I like Donovan Mitchell because he's good. But he's going to learn today. You know what I'm saying? And that is that the Jazz are in the way of destiny. All right, our destiny is to win the championship, and this is just only to further seal the deal. Playing against a tougher defensive team, the best defensive team against we kind of slipped a little bit, but still, in my opinion, the best offensive team. And when they play right, shit. And I think we're going to see which is more powerful, the better defense or the better offense. And I think the Rockets are going to take this. So how do you guys feel in the round table? How are you guys feeling about the Rockets' chances in this series? What are you calling this series, if you want to put a prediction on it? How many games do you see this taking, and who wins this?
I'm gonna say 4-1 Rockets.
So,
you said he wanted CP3 and James Harden, so he got CP3 and James Harden.
All right.
About to get his nice, fresh, clean ass.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going Rockets in 5. A big reason that I'm choosing that is because, one, Donovan Mitchell, You should have never said anything. You should have just played.
Yeah.
And I mean, his average for rebounds last series, he averaged 7 rebounds.
Mm.
That's not happening again. He averaged 28 points. If Chris Paul's on him, he ain't averaging 28 points.
Yeah.
I think this series, the excuse a lot of people are going to use when Donovan Mitchell struggles is, oh, it's this rookie slump. No, we're just going to lock him down. Make somebody else beat us.
Okay. All right. Heidi throwing all kind of evil voodoo, but not like the good voodoos, Mrs. Voodoo C and Mr. Voodoo C. But Heidi's throwing evil juju. We'll call it some juju. Yeah, she's throwing bad juju on the Houston sports scene. Shame on you, Heidi. Shame on you. I wag my Matumbo finger at you in shame and disgust. The Warriors will be dethroned. But make sure y'all get those mark my words in there. I see Edman said mark my words. The Rockets will blow out the Jazz. All right. But how the rest of you guys feel about, taking on this Jazz team? What do you feel, Mr. Man Up? How do you feel about this series and who do you see winning it and how many games?
Well, I see the Rockets winning this in 6. And let me explain why I'm saying that. Because you got, I like people like that. I like Donovan Mitchell too. He's burst out on the scene. He showed that he belongs, at least so far this season he has. Now, the reason why I'm saying 6 is because we have defense wins games, wins championship. And I'm not saying the Rockets don't have defense, but the Utah Jazz, they finished with the #1 defense in the regular season.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I think that the Rockets going to have to face, just like they had a little tough time with the Timberwolves, and they pretty good defensive team as well too. Now, another reason why I'm saying 6 is because, if I'm not mistaken, the Jazz is younger than the Timberwolves was, so they're going to get up and down the court a little bit quicker than the Wolves was, and I think that's going to affect us just a little bit. So that's the reason why I'm saying 6.
Okay. All right. I think honestly, I've been kind of back and forth. I think I may also agree with Man Up on this one and have to go with 6 games for the Rockets. That Jazz defense, I think, if they let the Timberwolves play a couple of close games, they let the Timberwolves play some decent defense, get them out of their element. James had some real bad shooting nights. We're talking about a team that is superior in defense to the Timberwolves, and if the Rockets don't show the Rockets brand of basketball, it could get very ugly very fast. Now, we swept them in the regular series, in the regular season, and, handily most games. But I know they had a couple of injuries along the way, so that's not really an indicator of what this matchup is going to be. And I think since then they picked up Jay Crowder, and it's a couple other factors that you're going to have to look into. So it's not going to be, it would not be ideal to compare this to the regular season games that we had, and think that it's going to be a same situation. So now let's get them score predictions in, and because I see us is getting close to time to watch the game, so make sure y'all drop that.
Before people start dropping their score predictions, I just found something on that Craig Ackerman dropped on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, every time Houston has played the Jazz and they've had Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors on the floor together, they were a minus 28.
No, well, shit. That's
so if they're looking at the numbers like that, they're going to probably try and keep those two off, kind of alternate. So that's going to give us some unique matchups, to say the least.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, mark my word, Harden gonna put up 40 tonight. This evening.
Okay.
Are you calling 40 out the gate?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
He got a ball on.
All right. Since we're doing mark my words, I'll say I'll say Rockets finally hit their stride and hit. I'm gonna say they hit at least 16 threes.
16 threes? Okay.
At least 16 threes.
That would be a beautiful thing.
All right. I'm getting these score predictions in. I see you, Voodoo Child. I got you 107, 101. Zach, I see you 108, 105. Let me see. And I saw you made a game prediction. Houston B says 112 to 80. The Rockets. I see that. I can definitely agree with that. I mean, they had some blowout stretches. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen.
I'm gonna say 111, 90.
111 to 90. All right.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say Rockets 115, Jazz 103.
All right, I got you. Yeah, man, I see Harden 40-point triple-double. Okay. He going to let him know why he's the real MVP? I got you.
I think he's going to solidify. I mean, I know the season's over.
Yeah.
But I think he solidified that MVP. So I think he's going to come out the gate just like he did game one against Minnesota. He's going to come out the gate. He's going to have a triple-double this game.
All right, I got you. Mark my words, Harden will drop at least 150-point games in one of these games. I got you, Clutch. Okay.
Oh, so that's a little series, mark my words.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, since it's the first game of the series, nothing happened. We can throw some long, some series. Mark my words. If you get something, I don't know how I would multiply the sauce, but it would have to be something over the effect of you have to predict an average over the series or something like that and be pretty accurate on that because that's the only way I can see that one working.
Average.
Like,
if I can throw one out, I'm gonna say Clint Capela out rebounds Gobert.
Okay, for the series.
For the series, Clint Capela out rebounds Gobert.
Well, that's kind of easy to say though. That's kind of easy.
No, I mean, Gobert does average double-digit rebounds too.
Yeah, but I think that's just a little bit too easy there. I mean, because we all know Clint Capela gonna get them rebounds. He gonna shut down that middle. Or at least hold it down. I'll put it like that. He's going to at least hold it.
Yeah.
Either way, we watch two really good centers go at it. Just like that.
I'm not saying he ain't good, but you got to come with something harder than that. Come on now.
But okay, mark my words over the series. Donovan Mitchell won't average 20.
Ooh. Okay. I got you, man. All right. Let's see, James Harden. I got you 109, 102, man. I got you. I got to say some very interesting predictions here. I'm trying to make sure I keep them all. Maybe so Donovan average a triple double this series. Oh, okay. I see you, Brian. I'm saying you, Donovan Mitchell. I like him, man. Like I said, I can't even. So it's just
like he looks like a young Harden, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they both took over at a young age. Mitchell a bit younger, but I mean, I see a lot of Harden in him.
Okay.
Can you imagine Donovan Mitchell on the Lakers? The hype would be real.
Oh man, they'd be blowing it. They would go crazy.
To be honest, the Lakers would probably be better off right now if they had Donovan Mitchell over Lonzo.
Yep.
It's like Capela with the 30 real family. Ooh, okay. King Brandon, I see you, Capela with the 25. Yeah, I think Capela, man, I think he's getting a taste of it. I think he's enjoying some of this little bit of hype he's getting behind this. I think he's starting to realize that he can be a star. He can be a superstar. Let me go and catch the last. Let me see, 112, 106. Rocking, I get 30, 13, and 7. So you go real super specific. All right.
Capela's been able to go up to the interviews after the game with Harden and CP3. I know he liked that shot.
Yeah, exactly. Mitchell equal Oladipo. Man, yeah, Oladipo, man. What's going on in that Pacers game, as a matter of fact?
Pacers score versus the Cavs. It's 97-90 with 3:06 left in the game.
Okay.
Cavs lead.
Yeah, LeBron ain't gonna let them lose that last one. The NBA ain't gonna let them. If LeBron go out in the first round, the East is irrelevant, dog. Like nobody's watching the games anymore. Like the NBA loses all the money. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what? No LeBron in the East. Well, we already know it's going to be waiting until the Western Conference Finals, and that's when people going to stop watching. Nobody going to watch that.
But the reason I mainly said 5 for the Rockets this series, I talked to Spitz. He said he's going to fall off a little bit.
Okay.
He said he's going to have a couple games where he shine, but he said he's going to make some things happen for us.
That's funny.
I think that when LeBron James out, man, he played the whole game before he had not came out yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's just been doing it for so long. He hasn't had any major enemy. That body has to be worn out somehow. I wouldn't be surprised if he is really fucking with the steroids or whatever shit. He got money to fucking get some of that shit that is undetectable. He got some new age shit, some shit they ain't even made yet for. It's just LeBron DNA manipulated so it can't be tested for type shit. But I don't know. That motherfucker.
That's a good question, Harden. Would you rather add Paul George, Kawhi, or LeBron? Personally, actually, no. I'd go Paul George. Thinking about it now, because Kawhi did just miss most of this year with an injury, and then the part he didn't miss, it was some team issue or something like that.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I gotta get off subject a little bit because one guy that I see right now that I've been trying to get in contact with is now in the chat, and that's Mr. Brian Roscoe. I'm talking about your Thunder now.
That boy came out.
I'm gonna leave it there. I ain't saying nothing else.
Yeah, that's that boy Brian. Man, that's my boy, man. Yeah, he was trying to hold it down for the Thunder.
Hey, Thunder gonna be ass as long as Westbrook there.
Yeah, Westbrook gonna have to change that game if it's ever gonna get right.
Brian, I respect you, but I don't respect your team, fam.
Oh no, I respect the team. I don't respect Westbrook.
Yeah, man, because he got a solid team around. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just if Westbrook would change the way he played, his playing style, he could be really, truly one of the greats. But he has to get rid of that. It's a little bit of greed, or he has to come to a realization that he's just not the guy all the time. When he's not hot, get your fucking teammates involved, facilitate. You ain't got to be the man every time. I know it's a good feeling. It's addicting to be the man, you know what I'm saying? They have those game winners just to be the talk of the town and all that other good shit. But sometimes let another motherfucker have a night, man. Like, because it ain't always you, Gesundheit, you know. But it is what it is. So, but here's the deal. I know it's about time for the game, man, and so we gonna go ahead and slide up out of here. But I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all stay tuned. We will have a post game show immediately after the game, and then we will have some roundtable sauce recapping the overall draft action. There will be plenty of interesting things to talk about, plenty of stuff to talk about. So hopefully everybody will be able to make it after the game, and hopefully White Persuasion was supposed to join us, but he's at the game. So shout out to White Persuasion, and maybe he can give us some live commentary post game. You know, when we do the recap after. But with that being said, man, I want to see if any of you guys want to say anything before we get out of here.
Well, I do want to say this here. I do want to go ahead and say this here real quick. I think that, like I said before, we all need to stand up and support our Rockets. Kind of like what Seattle does, Seattle Fans does. They the 12th man. Well, then we need to be the 6th man for our Rockets. You know, loud and proud. I don't care if you're at home. Let your next door neighbor hear you screaming and rooting for your Rockets.
Yeah, you heard me. Let them know that, hey, I've been starting to see a little bit more Rocket love, a little bit of Rocket support around town that I hadn't really been seeing as of late. So it's very, very interesting. Man up needs gun control. What you talking about? Oh, yeah, I see you got a fan over there, man up. Phoenix or Wise, anything you guys want to say before we get up out of here?
Just shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. We're gonna see y'all after the game. We're gonna see y'all on the round table. Y'all keep showing that support, like that stream, and show Honcho some support. Put some donations up in that stream.
You heard me? Absolutely. What about you, Mr. Rising from the Ashes, Phoenix?
Well, normally I would say I got a video coming soon, but I'm lazy, so I'll think about it.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get that shaking. I'm sure we're going coming soon. That the people need the Ashes.
I'll work on it. I'll work on something.
All right, that's the BET. Well, I appreciate you fellas for coming through, Sauce Nation. Especially, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for showing love, taking the time to fuck with the flavor. But with that being said, we finna get up out of here so we can check out the game. Y'all stay saucy. Most of all, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And we out.